back with another video, and I know I don't really have any viewers or really any subscribers, but I'm doing this anyway. So thanks for being here and watching if you are watching. So I wanted to talk about the 75 hard challenge that I did back in 2020. I started in June and really I ended in like August, so I didn't finish the full 75 days, to be honest. I did about 60, but I still got really great results regardless, and it was way beyond, of course, like the physical stuff. It was a mental toughness challenge. I did get a lot of self-discipline from it and willpower, but also I think it helped to spark kind of an internal, like, spiritual transformation as well. So it was a big time for me and an amazing time at the same time. So I wanted to talk about that, and I was thinking of doing this back in August, but that's when we found this year August, but that's when we found out that we're pregnant, so I couldn't really do this fully, but I'm kind of doing like my own alternate version of it. So some of the stuff like a gallon of water a day, I still do that. I try to make that a goal. Okay, so I'll go ahead and jump in here. This is for the 75 hard challenge daily routine that kept me consistent. And also I wanted to talk about 3 different things that helped me stay consistent other than just by being consistent. So yeah, if you're starting the challenge, or if you're thinking of starting the challenge, I think, kudos to you. It's definitely a challenge. It's something that you're going to learn from. It was really transformational for me, and I know that it'll be that for you. So I'm happy for you to get started. And if you're like me also, I was looking for all the ways to make the hard challenge easier. So as I went along, I started learning a lot of different things to help me do that, make it easier and more enjoyable. So I wanted to kind of talk about those things too. And I'm going to have another video after this that talks a little bit more about all of the tips as well. So the first thing other than consistency that helped me out was my routine, and then it was the environment setup and course correction. So starting with routine, this is my own personal routine, including the diet that I was following. So because during the 75 hard challenge, you have to pick a diet. It can be whatever you want, but there's no like cheat meals and no alcohol. So what I did was intermittent fasting, and I was already vegetarian, and I have a sweet tooth, so I also added in there no processed sweets, only homemade sweets. So if it was like homemade cookies, I can have some, or something that I did a lot of that I let myself do was some dark chocolate chips. And because dark chocolate is not my favorite kind of chocolate, I mean milk chocolate is the best, but I would have dark chocolate because it's also a little healthier, and cashews, and just have a handful of that mixed together, and that would be like my sweet whenever I was craving something sweet. So that includes part of my diet. But anyway, jumping into the morning, the first thing that I would do was take my progress picture. I would get that checked off right away, first thing in the morning. I would also kind of couple that with weighing myself, because I just liked to record my weight with my picture. It's not like something that they say that you have to do with that, but I just liked it. I wanted to see my progress that way. And I also just used my bikinis in my progress pictures. So I usually would just have that hanging up, and I'll put that on in the morning, put it back on the rack, and then change it out like every week or so. And then the next thing I would focus on in the morning was my water. So I use big half-gallon jugs because you only have to fill it twice, because the goal is 1 gallon of water. So I would get started on that right away in the morning. Also, when I was starting my whole like fitness journey a long time ago, I always heard about, and you probably heard about, drinking some detox water in the morning, or water with lemon. I would just try to drink a lot of water in the morning and kind of flush out and feel nice and detoxed. So I tried to get that in right away. And another big helpful thing to do to make sure I was getting in a lot of water earlier in the day and not waiting till later in the day where I was waking up to go to the bathroom there in the middle of the night, was to get in a certain amount of water before my morning coffee or before I ate. So that really helped. I think my goal was to try to drink like a liter of water before my intermittent fasting eating window or before my coffee. So yeah. Another tip with that is to keep your water near you all day, because you are going to be drinking a lot of water. You want to stay hydrated. It'll help keep you full and it'll help keep you alert throughout the day. So the next thing in the morning, I tried to do a workout and just get one of them done right away in the morning. And I tried to attempt it outside if I could. So usually what I would do, honestly, is go outside for a walk or jog. And I will just say also, getting your workout outside getting the workout done outside, like being outside definitely did something for my mental health. Just being in nature, like in the sunshine, getting that vitamin D, which they say helps your mood and your immune system and everything too. Just seeing the sky, the vastness of the world, it made me feel more human. So that was really, really good. And I loved to try to, get that done in the morning so that if I had to, I can get the easy indoor workout done, like in the house or in the gym later in the afternoon. So then in the afternoon, that's when I would kind of look at my diet. So since I did intermittent fasting, my eating window I started out with my eating window at 12 o'clock, so around lunchtime. And then I was able to work my way up to starting my eating window at 2 o'clock, and now I can't even fathom doing that. But I think something that helped me do that was drinking my water, like all of that water before my coffee, because my coffee the water would suppress my appetite for a little bit, and then my coffee would suppress my appetite further and give me more energy, and I was able to focus on work and stuff like that. But so my intermittent fasting eating window started around 2 o'clock for the most part, and I would eat again, primarily, I was vegetarian still at that time. And of course no alcohol during lunch or whatever. And I would not have any processed sweets. So next thing in the afternoon, after work, this is when I try to get in my second workout. So I would try to do that either outside or inside, depending on what I did for my first workout. And then also my water, so getting in, just reminding myself to get in as much as I could of that second half gallon before too late in the evening, because I tended to just want to relax in the evening. I just kind of, my energy just kind of waned. So I wanted to try to get in everything that I could in as early as I could. So just a reminder to get as much water in the afternoon. And then, in the evening, that's when my intermittent fasting eating window stop time was coming up. So my stop time was actually 8 o'clock. So I would start at 2 and end at 8. But again, I worked my way from, that's my cat feeder. So anyway, my first starting window eating time or whatever was 12 o'clock. Then I moved it to 2 to 8. So the second thing is that I finished my second half gallon of water so that my full gallon was done. Again, you want to try to get that in early so you don't wake up during the middle of the night to go pee and disturb your really good sleep, because you're going to be wanting to sleep really good after those 2 workouts, especially. And the last thing in the evening that I did was read my 10 pages of the nonfiction book. I liked to save this for the evening time because reading always makes me sleepy, and it's just a really great way to wind down. But I'll be honest, sometimes I would find myself like struggling to stay awake to read my 10 pages, and I would push my sleeping time because I was feeling the need to get my 10 pages in, and I would like leave that till a little too late or something. So that's something I definitely still needed to work on. So with that, I would just say really find a good wind down routine that works for you, because sleep is so important, and that's something that I feel like I could have improved that a lot more during that whole challenge was getting enough sleep. I think my quality was good, as long as I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night, but to go to the bathroom. But I feel like the quality was good because I was tired after getting in my workouts and everything. My body was ready to rest, but with that also, it's not like I was exhausted all day. Actually moving my body more, like doing 2 45-minute workouts, my body was itching to move. I wanted to get outside. I wanted to do something to move my body, and I was hydrated enough to do it. I was awake enough to do it. I was eating good food to fuel myself to move and do those workouts and everything. So I'll just put that little caveat in there. Okay, the next thing was environment setup. So I want to share a quote with you that I read from an email newsletter from Ryan Doris from the Flow Research Collective, and it's determine your environment because your environment determines you. And that's so important, because setting up your environment is like for who you want to be, like where you want to go, is going to make sure that you're successful, and it's going to make it so much easier for you to get there. So that is so important. It's setting yourself up for success. So your environment will determine and help determine you and where you're going. So here are some tips that I found helpful for setting up the environment for a successful 75 hard challenge or 60-day hard challenge, whatever. So number 1, get a half-gallon jug for your water, so you only have to fill it twice, and then only have to count it twice, so like 1, 2, and you're done. You don't necessarily need equipment for your workouts unless you want it. I definitely am a believer in you don't have to spend a lot of money to do almost anything. I think that you should always work with what you have and use what you have, and then upgrade and improve as you go or can. You don't need to go spend money on like a yoga mat and kettlebells and resistance bands and all of these things. All you need really is like just some comfortable workout clothes and maybe a good pair of shoes for running or training or whatever it is that you're going to be doing a lot. I would just suggest using what you have, but keeping it out and about so that you have it accessible and that you're prone to use that stuff when it's time to do your workouts and everything. Keep it ready to go. The next thing is keep your fridge stocked with healthy foods and stop buying the temptations foods that you're trying to avoid. So definitely try to get alternatives to those yummy foods that we are avoiding right now. Use substitutes. Some things that I had started substituting was like, instead of peanut butter, I would get the no sugar added almond butter. Instead of the vanilla yogurt, I would get the plain yogurt and add my own honey and like berries and even chia seeds. For some reason, adding chia seeds to the yogurt makes it better. Not really for the taste, I guess, but the texture just is awesome. Another thing I did was, instead of getting regular bread, I would do Ezekiel bread, and instead of regular pasta, I would do chickpea pasta. So I would just start making healthier alternatives to some of the things that I would buy a lot of. And also keep healthy options visible. So like have some fresh fruit on the counter, or like a bowl of avocados, things that you are like wanting to eat more of, keep them visible and accessible. And then also food prep whatever you can and keep them in like ready to go, ready to eat kind of containers so that you can pack them along with you whenever you go places. And then don't forget to take those packs with you when you go places, because if you're a binger like I am, you don't want to wait until you're ravenous and then go on a binge of whatever the heck is in your apartment, or end up tempted to get DoorDash or Uber Eats or something delivered to you. So having something like even a banana or some mandarins in your purse, or packing like a peanut butter sandwich or something like that on your Ezekiel bread with your no sugar added almond butter and fruit preserves or something, or just sliced banana even. Something like that, keeping that on hand will help you avoid getting too hungry where you go off the deep end. So the next thing is have a nice calendar or schedule set up to lay out your routine and plan for the day. Again, this is part of setting yourself up for success. And you want to try to keep it somewhere too where it's easily seen and you can see it often. So maybe like on the fridge or your bathroom mirror. I like putting little sticky notes and stuff up there, just to keep things like that you're working on, that you're trying to do, top of mind, and it'll just become part of your day, part of your routine. It'll be habitual. The next thing is, if you know that there are going to be challenges or obstacles that are going to get in your way or that are constantly in your way, now is the time to change them or plan around them. So for example, if you tend to like order Uber Eats, pizza, and sit on the couch to watch Netflix, and that's kind of like your routine, like you just kind of binge on Netflix and do that, now's the time to delete the Uber Eats app. Go buy a healthier version of pizza at the store, add your own veggies, like chop up a lot, put it on there, try to get in as much nutrition as you can that way, and don't feel guilty about it, but find that healthier option, and then try to vow to only watch one episode of your show after you get your workouts done. Use it as a reward instead of a way to like relax, because you're gonna find, if you haven't already, that you don't feel great after you fall into the same habits or routines that make you stuck or keep you in the same place that you're trying to get out of. So this is the time to set yourself up to make those changes, make different choices, and then you're gonna be building those new habit muscles and get stronger at it. It's really the repetition of doing the new things that you want to do to get you where you want to be and be who you want to be. So now's the time to change your environment setup to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. And then lastly, about the environment, this is a transformational challenge. So if you're going for a new you, which you're going to be, I guarantee you're going to be a new you regardless. If you're going for a new you, a new identity, this is a great time to clear out any clutter in your space for things that are associated with the old you or are kind of keeping you held in that mindset. So things like clothes that don't fit you really well or make you feel very good. It could be something that your ex gave you. Like, get rid of that bad juju stuff and start putting the things that you love and make you feel good out more on display. Like, really let those and like highlight those and let them shine. And then as you go, you can start maybe adding in more things that are associated with the new you that you're becoming and that you want to become more of. So those are my tips for the environment setup. And the last thing, and this is my favorite thing, is course correction. I love this term so much, and I got it from Abraham Hicks, but it's something I definitely have started living my life by. And I think I have been for a while, but this term just makes it just kind of clears it all up. And it's basically It's basically the concept of you don't have to worry about getting everything done perfectly, if it's all going to be correct, if it's all done in perfect timing. You don't have to worry about that. It's all about learning as we go. I'm reading my note. Learning as we go and making changes and improvements along the way. It's just course correction. That's the spice of life. That's how we continue to evolve and grow and keep on expanding. And it's so much fun. And whenever you're challenging yourself like in this way, it's so much fun to course correct because you're going to see improvements in yourself, especially when it comes to being the best version of you. When you see improvements in yourself and you're doing that, you're making the change, it's life-giving, and it's again transformational. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay, so I'm still reading some of my notes, but okay, so if something doesn't work out, ask yourself why it didn't work out, what could have made it better, and then take note of that, either literally or mentally, and then take a more conscious approach to it next time. So I'll just give you the example with the water. I was learning that, okay, when I wait too long to drink the rest of my water to get my full gallon in, excuse me, when I wait too long to get that water in, I end up waking up in the middle of the night. It disturbs my sleep, and I hate that. I like to have good sleep. So I started doing that little challenge for myself in the morning of just getting in, trying to get in a liter before I had my morning coffee or started my intermittent fasting. Really, I would wait until my coffee. It was helping me meet that challenge and also just really detox and keep myself full. And guys, the water thing too, another caveat, it helps your skin glow. You feel cleaner. You're drinking all this water, you're sweating it all out in these workouts, you're eating good with your diet, and you just you can see it from the outside. When you stay consistent, again, this is why we're talking about this too, when you stay consistent, you will see results, and people around you will see results too. And it is freaking awesome when people tell you whoa, you are glowing, you are shining, you're so happy, what are you doing that's different? They're gonna notice, and it feels really good, honestly. So yeah, after you make the change, just observe how it works out after you make that change, and then keep on course correcting as needed. And also I wanted to just add in here too, to celebrate the little wins, even if it's just giving yourself a pat on the back, or mentally giving yourself being your own cheerleader in your head, the good positive self-talk. Be hell yeah, I did this, and I'm gonna do it again tomorrow because it worked, and I'm gonna be so damn good at this and I'm gonna get it done. And you feel proud of yourself when you start seeing and making those changes that you've said you're gonna make. You start trusting yourself, because you are always getting better. We really are. No matter what, we really are getting better. But when we notice that we're making the changes that we say we're going to make and we want to make, it does something for our self-confidence, our self-trust, and I think that equals, and our self-discipline, and I think that equals self-love. You're showing up for yourself. That's the evidence of you showing up for yourself. Okay, so anyway, even with setting up your environment, if you realize that there's something that you can change to make something easier for you or run more smoothly, do that. Course correct that task or the environment to make that task easier. For example, this is the last example. If you are not very fond of getting that outdoor workout in, and you don't want to just keep on going out for a walk or a jog every day outside, maybe find an alternative. Just play around with it. Maybe you find a nice big tree outside close by or at a park, and you like to set up a towel or a blanket or a yoga mat and do some HIIT stuff out there, or some yoga, or whatever you fancy. You can do your outdoor workout in a different way that makes you feel good and excited and comfortable, and just change it up and keep exploring what little things work for you. All right, so that was it. I hope those tips were helpful for you or just inspired you in some way. Again, this is Fit Living Inspired. It's all about trying to be consistent with living our best life and doing the things that keep making us feel good. And that's fit mentally, physically, and spiritually, to always stay on a higher level, stay on the highest level that we can, really. So yeah, I loved going over this, and I love sharing it, and I'm really excited about getting this out there. This is the stuff that I want to do. So if you want to subscribe to get more tips and information like this, I'm going to be learning and growing and course correcting as I go, and I'm really excited if you join me on my journey, and I would love to join you on yours too. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you have a great life. Okay, I'll see you later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.